agentic or agent browsing. I think it might be important for me to set the table here. Okay. Um, OpenAI, the company that makes ChatGPT, launched recently, I guess in the last week, a browser called Atlas. Prior to that, another AI company that you may or may not have heard of called Perplexity launched a browser called Comet. Both, right now they're calling this the browser wars. Now, why suddenly the browser wars? I mean, years ago, depending upon how old you are, you might remember Netflix was at least the first widely accepted browser. And then, of course, each company like Apple came up with their browser Safari, and Google came up with Chrome, and everybody. And it's been fairly quiet, at least from where I sit, in the whole browser world over the last several years. Suddenly, within a month, between each other, two different, or maybe 3 months, uh, two different browsers came up: Comet from Perplexity um, and Atlas from ChatGPT. So why is the browser world so important? And I think it's important for you guys to have an understanding of this, because it really goes to the heart at what's being fought for in the whole AI world, and where the fight for your attention. What they're trying to achieve is true ownership of you, of an understanding of what you're doing, of understanding of your search habits, of the things that you're trying to get. If you think about it from the browser standpoint, if you're using what gets fed to you, you're going to shop where you're kind of pointed to. You're going to research what the plane tickets that you do, everything that you're going about doing. So there's a lot at stake with these browsers, which is why I'll say this to all of you. If you're using ChatGPT regularly right now, you are getting a bargain. By definition, you're getting a bargain. Why? Because the company is losing money on every single search you do. They're losing money on every single search you do. Why? Because they're fighting for everything. That they cannot spend enough money at this point, and they're fighting for everything. The browsers are the next step, and despite the little dramatic intro that I gave here, there are some pretty cool things that we could do with it, and that's what we're going to do right now. First, we're going to take a look at the different browsers that are there. We're going to open this up here, and of course, Zoom always has all this crap on my screen. What we're looking at right now is Comet, and I'll just open up just a regular screen. Comet, if we go to, let's say, I'll go to my company website, Douglas Elliman. And it could be Compass or Sotheby's or anything. We're an equal opportunity group here. So I'm just doing it because I happen to be in Las Vegas at a Douglas Elliman conference, and we're taking a look at here. There's a couple of features that I want you to see on this, and you're going to see it's incredibly similar in the other browser in Atlas. So first thing you see is it looks very familiar. To all of you, it should look pretty familiar. It looks like a browser. You got your tabs on top. But one thing that's a little bit different over here, and I can't enlarge it, it says Assistant. And if I click on that, a whole screen opens up where you're able to actually get the assistant popping out of the screen. This is kind of where the magic happens, because the assistant can read and see everything that's going on this screen. But more than that, it could actually do stuff for you, which is kind of cool. So like if I go into this assistant, I could just say, I have the Element site on this page. Can you look up Edmund Bogen on this site? Now, what's going to happen is it might take a lot of time to actually get it together. Oh, yeah, that takes so much time. Good news, you could open up multiple tabs and do multiple tasks at the same time. If you notice, this turns a little blue. Dina, can you see that it turned a little blue on the edges here? Anyone? Can you see that it turned? Somebody answer me, please.
Yes, I
Yes.
see it,
Yeah.
Andrew.
Great, thank you. So you could see that it turned blue, and you could also see that it's actually beginning to do a search on this behalf. Sometimes it takes a long time, but it's actually working here. And this is the part that I want you to know about. It's actually going to do the job for you in doing the search. Now, can you at this point search it a lot faster to look me up? Of course you can at this point. But like I said, if you wanted to go from this and say, you know what, this is taking too much time, I'm going to open up another assistant here and I could do a request on, let's say, the IRS or um, some type of complex site that's kind of annoying. You know, I had an appeal on a $100 fine that they gave me, and guess what? I won using this, which was kind of cool. So you can see that we have here, can you find the forms section? So now it's going to start taking a look at this, and it's requesting appeals. It's giving what the forms are here, the different types of forms that we're going to be able to search. And it will take you into the various forms that you may need. Let's go back to our guy here. Up, here we go. Edmund Bogen, broker associate, and it actually summarized me when it completed this. So there were a couple of things that actually went on here that you actually could open. A lot of you don't know that you could do more than one thing at a time with these sites, that you're able to actually go from one tab to another and have it actually do the searches. That's fine. That's good. You could do those searches on your own, you're probably thinking. Well, you could also do something else if we wanted to. And I just want to see everybody. Do I have everybody with me so far? Okay, good. Want to make sure that you're all here. Do we have a question? Okay, we're gonna get into this. And it gets better and better here. Okay, so now let's try and do some actual work with this thing. Uh, Here's my email. We'll take a look at that. Now, my good friend Eitan is going to be coming to the United States, and we've got the Gmail here. Let's say, again, I'm using him as an example because I know this is fairly safe. Let's say I wanted to, just on the context of what I know about Eitan, say, please look up my friend Eitan Benzeno, and with that context, write an email telling him that I look forward to seeing him um, in Florida. Okay, so now the agentic browser, and by the way, Atlas works pretty much the same way. I'm going to show you Atlas as well, but it's now compiling information about Aton to craft a friendly message. As you can see here, it's looking up, and I hope you could see this on the right-hand side here. It's looking up Notion Team. It's looking up various information about Aton. It might even go out to the web and take a look at him. It'll look in your email. I mean, it's looking through all this great stuff about him to get context. And from there, it's going to write an email. I'll go back to that in a second. Now, again, do you need to do that with somebody who's a good friend of yours? Of course not. If you, let's say, have a dispute with someone, and Dina's smiling, if there's an issue that you might have with someone where you have these endless email chains that go back and forth, and you want to use an agentic browser to help you craft a message based on the history of a dispute that you might have had, you're going to be able to do that with this as well. I like to keep it very friendly because again, nobody needs to know our dirty laundry. We had an issue with a client, with a another broker, and we've used AI to compile a lot of the issues that we had with him, and we indeed are filing a grievance against this guy. But again, we don't need to go there. I'd rather stick with the friendly stuff. And let's take a look what happened here. Did I get to the right email? Okay, yeah, it's still, you can see this thing's still here, so it's still working. The fact is, these things are slow. I just want to be clear about that. It does take a while for some of this to actually go through, especially when you're in a Zoom meeting. However, if you recognize that you could set this kind of thing on its own to do its own work, it's kind of cool because there's things that you do each and every single day that you don't need to sit on the browser to be able to see if it's working or not. One other thing I want to show you with these agentic browsers here, like let's take a look at a simple form. Agentic browsers can fill out forms that you may have. Once again, I'm going to keep it very simple for the purpose of this meeting, but I encourage you to try this. Again, going up to the assistant, I could say, this is something that I have for the members at St. Andrews Country Club, where I live and farm. Let me help you find off-market opportunities. You got to fill out your name, information, email address, phone number, price range that you might looking in, blah, blah, blah. I could say, please fill out this form. And what should happen, and again, I just give it a second. Great, it turned blue, and now the browser has taken control of the screen and it's actually filling out the information. It's even going a step further by looking at, I mean, it really does research everything, which over time it does get faster and faster. Something like if anybody sends their kids to school, again, I don't know how old everyone is here, but if you have those lengthy forms with the medical forms that we all have to fill out for the kids, you could use this to help you gather that information and fill it out. If you have any type of, again, grievance that you might have with someone, you could use the web browser to fill that out. So there's all sorts of stuff that these browsers are actually doing for you. Security. Security is a problem. Now, the newest type of hack is where people are putting commands um, out there that they're saying on the websites. They're putting into your email, the email researchers, the phishing, when people send emails out to you, giving browser commands that if by chance your browser comes upon, let's say somebody spooks Dina and sends me a fake email saying what the browser should actually do, that command, the browser won't know the difference. If it's now doing an email on my behalf to Dina and it's looking this up and it's giving that as a command, that is a potential security threat. So I wouldn't just allow this to go unwatched at this point. I wouldn't allow this. I just want to give everyone the warning. I encourage you to go to YouTube and check out some of the perils in this. It's not that scary. You really can navigate this quite successfully, but I just want you to be aware that this is a thing right now. So there is an issue with security within some of the browsers. Again, I know I've machine gunned a lot at you in a fairly short period of time. Um, I do want to get onto some of your questions and see how we can use the browser together. One last thing I'd like to show you on all of this is here. Okay, and this guy's still busy filling out the information. So it's still sometimes this does take a little bit. I'm telling you, when I'm off of Zoom, it is a lot faster. So Zoom does take up a lot of resources and time. Let's say we go into a real estate video, we'll say by Tom Ferry, because a lot of you know who Tom Ferry is. He's a real estate coach. And here, this is good. It's a 36-minute video. Cast. And I don't really want to watch that 36-minute video. I could go to this assistant here again, and I could summarize the video, extract key takeaways, or scroll to an interesting moment. I'm going to just say summarize the video. And what this thing is actually doing is it's watching the video for you, or it's getting all the information in quick time. It's talking about who's in this, biggest mistakes to avoid, chasing shiny objects instead of focusing on core proven lead sources. And it will, so it gives a pretty good summary of the video. But now you could take it a step further and you could say, please write an email to Dina Ulrich. Obviously, I'm close with Dina here, telling her that she should watch this video and tell her why. Please give her the link. Okay, so now it's going to take that and it's going to do exactly that. It's going to write up an email to Dina. Let's see, I'll let this cycle through for a minute here. and it's gathering the information that's in there, and great, it's done. So now we have here, hi Dina, I want to share a fantastic video that I think is especially relevant for anyone striving for greater success in real estate, whether you're blah, 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 blah. So we got all this stuff. You can watch it here. Again, if I was doing this for real to a client, and it even says best your name, I don't want it to be best my name. I want to refine the email a little bit. I'm going to say, please make it from Edmund Bogen. So let's just take a look, watch it here. From best Edmund Bogen. And right from the browser, I just sent it to Dina. Dina, in a minute, you could check and see if you actually received it. That's what I got with that. Anybody find that somewhat amusing, somewhat exciting, somewhat like interesting?
I think it's very cool. It makes me a little bit nervous, though. I was saying, I was looking at it even in the when you first opened it to Aton, you were having it read your emails. I'm like, I guess theoretically, Gmail or whoever you use, Outlook, whatever, can read all of your emails anyway. But it's slightly terrifying, security wise, privacy wise, to be saying, read all my emails, gather that information, and you just feel like it's probably getting so. I don't know,
Yeah,
but I guess anything on your computer could be.
you're not wrong. I think that being cautious and being aware of what's going on with all of this is really the first step. You've got to take the time and see for yourself what I've got some feedback here, and see for yourself what you're comfortable doing. There's going to be some famous cases of theft with I mean, we just know every new technology, there's always something that comes out. I'm not a negative Nelly here, but there's going to be some famous cases of problems that we're going to see with all of this stuff. There's going to be famous cases of successes that we're going to see with all of this stuff. I mean, I think that for you, just understand that you do have control of what goes on in there. You do have control of when you're going to send it out. I've said this in every single meeting. You guys have heard this. This is not an excuse not to work. Okay? It's just not. Some scary statistics about AI that's going out there. People are, in fact, getting dumber. You don't have to be that way. You just don't. You can actually, I mean, Dina hears me talk about this all the time. I'm always studying Python. Why? I don't want to be dumb. I really don't. I hate dumb people. I just, I look, if someone's cognitively has an issue, then I feel badly. But if you're like deliberately not doing anything to make yourself smarter, it's pretty stupid. Just read a book every now and then, guys. Come on, like let's do something. Play cards. I mean, do something to keep yourself cognitively up there because the reality is you can atrophy. You know the saying atrophy when you work out, if you stop working out, your muscles die. It's the same thing with your brain. If you don't use this right now, instead of just being so lazy with this stuff, if you could actually use this to increase the volume of work that you're actually doing or make the work that much better. There's other use cases with these agentic browsers. You could go in and research properties, for example. And we have a whole, I don't know where Aton is. He's, not here right now. But you guys should have gotten, did everyone get the workbook? How about this? Did anyone not get the workbook? Why don't you comment in the sidebar here, and we will get that to you. But if you look through the workbook, we I put a lot of time into that, which gives actual use cases and ideas for you to be able to run off and do stuff on your own. What are some initial thoughts? I mean, aside from Dina, I don't want to just be the only talking ends. What other questions would you have, or what ways would you be able to set an AI off? Right now, I talked about complex sites like irs.gov, email and being able to draft them for you, forms and summarizing YouTube. What other ideas would you have? What other ways do you think you'd have something go out and do the work for you? Because what's going,
So, so nice.
yeah, please introduce yourself.
My name's Dossie.
Okay.
Um, I have this company that I've been having issues with, and I have email threads that are, if I printed everything out, it's over 1,000 pages
Mm.
that I'm actually, yeah, getting ready to do more stuff with. And so just knowing, like, I was always just kind of dreading, how am I going to make this a timeline? of and everything that they've said. So this is really going to help me like not have to dread going through all those pages of everything. It's been over 2 years that I've been dealing with this issue. So
Okay,
that's going to be really nice.
so good. So Dossie, do yourself a favor, check it twice or a few times. Again, as I said before, is especially for this, because if you've been going through this for 2 years, I suspect there's a pretty hefty dollar amount assigned with it, or reputation, or something that you want to protect. Um, so
Yes.
if that's the case, you need to go through this in several different ways to make sure that you're getting the right information and that it's not. Have you heard of the term hallucination? AI hallucination? It's been kind of a big buzzword these days,
Oh,
maybe.
I have not.
Okay, so the AIs, believe it or not, make stuff up. Um, the AI at this point has been set to such a standard where it's not, it feels as though if it doesn't know the answer, it has to kind of go a step further and it takes from a friendly answer like, oh, you looked so good the other day. Even if you looked like shit, usually people say, okay, they look really good the other day. Wow, oh, it's so nice to see you, even if it wasn't so nice. The AI will take that to an extreme, and in many cases, it will make stuff up. There's some famous cases right now. Deloitte in Australia. Deloitte was hired by the government in Australia to do some research for them and write a white paper. I encourage all of you to look this up now or after the meeting. Um, the ChatGPT hallucinated it. They gave it to some lower level staff. They gave this as finished work product to the government of Australia. This is Deloitte, and it was a $440,000 bill that they paid for some lower level staff, clearly lower level staff that got lazy. Remember, I've been saying about being lazy, and much of it was complete bullshit. So, again, Dossie, I don't want that to scare you. I really don't, because here's the thing. What pisses me off about that story, they could have very easily checked the facts on this. They could have opened up another ChatGPT browser and put that in there and saying, please fact check this. They could have compared this. So one of the things that I encourage people in this meeting is to go to Claude, which is a competitor of ChatGPT, or Gemini, which is Google, and run one AI's answer after the other to compare. You're having one intern kind of read up on the other intern. Do you know what I'm saying? Um, and if you do it that way, I think you're going to find that you'll get the answer. Sorry, Dossier, I saw you unmuted.
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say, like I think for my like I agree on that 100%. But yeah, like my case is more just like I think it'll pull out facts fine. But yeah, I'll double check it for sure.
Yeah. I think it really is very good if you allow it and you give it, when I had that email written to Aton, I didn't give it a mission. All I said was, you know, say happy things to Aton and tell him I look forward to seeing him in Florida. It said nothing about anything specific. If on the other hand, Dossie, you say something like XYZ, what was the Roadrunner? The Acme Corporation. The Acme
Yeah.
Corporation said XYZ and they promised something for me. Please find where they promised this particular widget and how many times did they do that? AI is very, very good at getting that kind of stuff sorted. And so I think it's a phenomenal assist. I'll tell you one thing that we did similar, and Dina could chime in as well. We had a text chain with a client that went on forever. Dossie, do you check your texts or do you do texts on your computer at all?
I have a little bit on there, like because it connects to my computer, but I don't really do a lot on there.
Okay. Well, one of the things that you can do, and again, this goes a little bit beyond, um, sorry, what the heck is this? This goes a little bit beyond agentic browsing, but bear with me for a second here. I want to get to WhatsApp and I'll just show, where is this thing? Okay, and I'll just show the Rain Nation. For those of you who aren't on it, you really should be. This is our advice line. Livette has been great about sending stuff up. She said she needs some, she's had a couple referrals that she's put out there. So look, what I'm doing right now is I'm copying all of the chats in here, and it's copying just the actual words that were said in these chats. You see, we've gone back to October. I'm capturing all of the chats on this particular thread. And again, I'm only sharing this with you guys because, well, all of you guys are on it, or many of you should be. And it might have skipped a couple. Again, you need to take your time and see this here. Where are we here? We're August 27th. Okay, I could just stop here. I'm going to copy it. And then we could go into whatever AI you might want. In this case, we'll do ChatGPT. And I'll say, please take a look at this WhatsApp thread and summarize it for me. Give important points and key takeaways. So there, I just pasted the whole thing. And it's a bit of gobbledygook. I'm going to be curious to see what this thing might actually come up with. But ChatGPT is actually giving the conversation captures ongoing coordination of your weekly mastermind series, workbook distribution, meeting logistics, blah, 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 blah. And it gives an actual timeline. Again, there's so many different people with so many different opinions. It's not the best example. I just didn't want to give anything private that we have within our company. Dina and Samantha and Nicole. I don't know if those Nicole and Samantha are here. We're all on the same team. So we create this whole WhatsApp chat, and this will give you a summary. In our case, we will create a specific chat for a specific property or a specific buyer. And now we're able to, especially if it's an ongoing thing, we have a builder client who we're going on to our fifth deal with. This is vital for that because we've had this type of thing where we've talked for forever with that client, and we might want to find out something that they mentioned. It could be a birth date of their investor from a year ago, or it could be anything. This is fantastic for getting that type of information. So, Dossie, if you could just borrow that as an idea for your dispute. Again, I don't like to go into our own private work product. In fact, I won't. But I will show you by representative example the kinds of things that you could be doing with AI to make it work. Questions? God, was a real showstopper here.
No, I think it's amazing. I do, because sometimes you have so much information to sort through. Just trying to find it, it can be overwhelming. So I think it's actually fantastic. I really do. I think it's super helpful.
Great, thank you. No, it is good. Here's another thing that I realize. I'm flying back to Florida today. Um, as these browsers get to know who you are and get to know your information, uh, it will fill out the airline stuff. So you could take that to fill out some critical information for that. I mean, to me, forms has been kind of the bane of my existence at different points in my life. I think that there's sometimes a lot of information. Again, you're going to have to decide what level of privacy you're comfortable with. You're going to have to decide for yourself how much you're going to want to give up. But I do believe that this is kind of the future of AI. This is really where we are today, giving a certain amount of control. We'll call controlled control, being able to control what it controls from you, to be able to go out and do certain independent jobs for you. Go ahead, Zainab. I could see you got something on your mind.
Yeah, two things. Number one, I was able to use AI to find like a very specific Friendsgiving paper plate, party supplies.
Okay.
It found it on a website that I had never even heard of. I was like, okay, this exists. All right. And that's number one. And number two, when you get a chance, can you please drop the Reg Nation WhatsApp group in the chat? I'm actually not there.
Sure. Sure.
Thank
Actually,
you.
I think, yes. You know what? I'm going to get it to you. I'm writing it down.
Okay.
What's app to Zainab.
Definitely, AI is getting smarter and smarter and taking more and more tedious tasks off of our agenda.
Yeah, it can. And it can also, just to stress out, just like I love the story about Deloitte because it's Deloitte. I mean, it's Deloitte and it's the government of Australia. And it was $440,000 that I mean, to me, doesn't that blow you away? Isn't that
Uh-huh.
amazing? So to me, if it could happen to them, there was also a famous case law right now with a lawyer who just, this is actually 2 years ago when AI was so much dumber compared to what it is today. He gave an entire
Yeah.
brief to have it write out, and it hallucinated. It made up case law that just never existed. And the judge
No,
identified that right away. I mean, this is
no,
really some messed up stuff.
it's very creative. Like I put in one time, I was trying to see if the LOI and the lease were exactly matching each other, right, for a commercial deal. And it came up with the company was called Jackpot something something. So I came up with Jack and Jill did this and that. I'm
Yeah.
like, what? I don't have time for your jokes right now. Like,
Yeah.
this is serious business. I need to understand if like we've narrated everything into the lease. So it makes
It,
stuff up.
it does, but it's getting less and less. And I think that what I'm hoping to do with all of you is get you prepared for where we are at right now with tech. At this conference, this lady, I really felt that she was unqualified to speak about what she spoke about. Again, there I said it. I just thought that she was mentioning everything about AI, which was nothing more than what I think most people already know. There was no utilitarian, like, what can I do? What I hope is that the mission of what I've got here is to give you information that you can immediately put to work and use it to make money. There was nothing that she had said. Nice lady, but aside from when she kept hushing us up, but it was not, nicely. Terry's here at the conference as well. He knows what I mean. But I think that it really is important to understand. One of the statements she made was this AI is not going to take away everyone's jobs. She's wrong. It's going to take away a lot of jobs. It's going to, for those that are fortifying themselves, I can't even say, okay, if you know everything, you're going to be safe. I can't say that. I could say that you're going to be far better off than the realtors that aren't taking the time or the business people that aren't taking the time to learn this stuff. I guarantee that. But we're going to be having some major policy changes globally, and certainly in the United States. One of the things that's been floated is a 4-day work week and a 6-hour work day sometime in the next 10 years. That a lot of people are actually floating that, which, if that increases your quality of life, fantastic. I love it. That's great. If that's what you
Ed,
really want to do. Was somebody saying?
that was me.
Okay, go ahead,
Did
Greg.
you,
Greg, tell everyone who
did
you
you,
are and where you are.
I am Greg Coggins and I am in the holy city of Charleston, South Carolina. Um, Yesterday's headlines, did you see about UPS and FedEx?
No. How dare I miss something? What happened?
40,000 jobs at
Yes.
UPS.
I actually, and Amazon.
Amazon.
Yeah.
I said FedEx, but it's Amazon. Yeah, AI and robotics. Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, Amazon is planning on eliminating 600,000 jobs over the next till, and I think they said 2033. It's tragic because these are a
Yeah.
lot of people that don't have a way out. Um, can they be absorbed into other businesses? Sure, there's a lot of things and a lot of people will, but there's a lot that won't. And just let's get past the bullshit. If things are that much easier right now, if you're able to get past all of this, I think the biggest we're going to have to, as a society, balance all of this. I mean, there really is, and this is not, don't shoot the messenger here. I'm not saying whether it's a good or a bad thing. I'm just trying to get all of you prepared to understand these changes that are actually happening now and
It's
how
a
you can take advantage of it. There is an opportunity today to be able to show my daughter who periodically pops into this. I'm always trying to coach her and get her to do her work, and her boss is loving her. She would love her anyway. But she's able to do work so much faster in her world, and everyone is clueless to it. They really just boggles the mind how people are not following this. Kenny, were you about to say something?
Yeah, I was gonna.
Okay.
Yeah, there's
Kenny, can you tell everyone who you are and
I
where you are.
I Kenny Bellini just outside Los Angeles, California, and it's dark here because it's 6:38 in the morning.
It's 6:38 for me too, and
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay, so
Me
I've been up
too.
since five. But
Brr.
no, just reading the other day in China, the robotics are getting really, I mean, they're just taking over. But the other thing, they're even saving on electric bills because robots can work in the dark. So all these
Yes.
factories don't even need lights in them. I mean, it's getting crazy, right? So I
Yeah.
have to learn how to work in the dark, I guess. So
Yeah, there's and yet the robots themselves use a lot of power. So I don't know what's there. Before everyone else, I've had a couple of environmentalists in here. Welcome. We love having you. I will also say that, I got into this debate with somebody last night. How many, how much in your typical GPT prompt, how much water is used in that prompt to cool
mm,
the computer? Anyone want to have a guess? The average amount of water it takes for a typical ChatGPT prompt to cool the server that's actually coming up with that information. Who wants to
Isn't
have a
it like
guess?
30 gallons or something like that? Or is
No,
it more than that?
no, less.
a
Oh,
For
okay.
a
gallon,
single prompt. I just want you to
2 milliliters.
a
it,
glass of water.
okay, good. Kenny was closest. It's somewhere between Kenny and Dean. It's between 1 and 3 shot glasses for a typical prompt. It depends
Oh,
upon how much it is. Okay, and that's a lot when you multiply that across billions of prompts a day, right? Okay, who eats hamburgers? One, two. Brad, do you eat? Brad eats a hamburger. Okay. Ken, Greg looks vegan. Okay, yeah, fuck you. Okay, so so I eat hamburgers, but it's kind of anti-American not to. Let's all like give Greg the finger for not eating a hamburger.
I eat them, but
Okay.
not made by anybody but myself.
Okay, good. So
Smash
a
burger.
typical hamburger patty, how much water was consumed or made in the manufacturing? The growing of the feed, the taking care of the cattle, how much water was used for that single hamburger? Anybody want to have a guess? Okay, 600 gallons. 600 gallons look it up. 600 gallons of water in your hamburger. Okay. Now, this environmentalist, and she isn't back right now, so I guess I might have pissed her off when I called her out on it. Yes, my chat GPT was 3 shot glasses. And that, again, it shouldn't, I'm not saying don't address it, but let's be consistent with our battles here. Let's be consistent with all of this. The meat industry, the beef industry has been horrible when it comes to the environment. It's been a terrible, terrible thing. A chicken sandwich is about 30 gallons of water. I mean, it's a chicken sandwich. Oh, no, sorry, 100 gallons of water. I was looking this up before. A cup of coffee. How much water is used in a cup of coffee? 30 gallons. Yeah, there you go, Dina. Dina, with the coffee, you better finish every drop. Okay, and
It's
Terry.
actually my
Well,
third cup this
Okay,
morning
so
so far.
well,
but
Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola, to make a gallon of Coca-Cola, it takes a gallon and a half of water.
okay, and that's pretty good, it sounds like.
Yeah,
But
but yeah, they're sucking up all of our water. But
look, this isn't an excuse to bash corporations or bash anyone who's got the purest intents of having some type of great environmental impact. I salute them. I think it's a great thing. I just want everyone to act. I don't care, what you believe in, whether you're conservative or liberal, or it doesn't matter to me. I just want you to act on truth because this AI really should be the great truth uh, giver. If you really try and actually take a look at facts, just stop using bullshit to support your position. Whether it doesn't work in business and it doesn't really work in life. And I think that what we're seeing online right now are people swimming in miscommunication and all that. And I really do see AI as a great opportunity to get through. So we could give you a couple more examples before we get to wants, needs, and brags. But what other questions do we have here? Preferably browser related or not. Taking a look here. Anyone? Ferris Bueller? Ferris Bueller?
This is a procedural question.
Please.
So I think it was very cool how you were able to send an email. You created an email within your agentic, within your assistant, and then you sent it directly from the assistant rather than copying it, going into your Gmail, and then sending it that way. How do you establish? We all have multiple Gmail accounts. How do you establish within the assistant that your preference for email is?
It's associated with that particular account. So you know when you log into something, you could say sign in with Google,
Hmm.
sign in with now you could sign in with ChatGPT, you could sign in with Microsoft, sign in with ChatGPT, sign in with
I know what you mean.
so
You're
so
right.
whenever I sign in, that's the one that it is actually defaulting to. But you ask a good question because um, there's going to be a wealth of other things. This is just the beginning with agentic browsing. There's going to be, my prediction is a series of settings that you're going to be able to work with to be able to kind of guide the agentic browser in the direction that you're going to want to. They're going to have upgrades. In fact, they're having upgrades already, and it just got released. So it's kind of exciting. Tiffany, please tell everyone who you are and where you are.
Hello, everyone. Good morning. I'm Tiffany Goad. I'm in the office with Edmund in Boca, real estate agent. To the stars we are. Just kidding. Anyway, no, I was wondering, is there a anyone that has had experience with? I've got like 8,000 million emails that I try to, obviously you can mark and whatever, but has anybody had any experience cleaning up their workspace with the browser, with the AI? Because, like maybe put in keywords because, some are either sentimental or important or I want to hang on to it. So I don't know if that's related or not.
Okay, we'll let anyone answer, but well, guys, you think about that. Tiffany, I could take it. I'll tell you that um, if it all goes down to prompting at that point, to being able to figure out what you are truly looking for. In other words, you can't say clear out all my junk mail. I mean, or you could identify junk mail. If you give it like a time range, some context of what you're trying to look for, if you've got client related stuff, if you've got various names of clients, like let's say you have Greg Coggins as a client of yours, and you've gotten a wealth of messages from him, you would be able to set up the Comet or Atlas and be able to say to it, please make sure that this person is tagged as however you want them tagged. So if you want him to be tagged as client or vendor or competitor or whatever you might want to, you'd be able to set that up that way. Again, it's a couple of extra steps, but if you want to catch up after, well, not now, but this week, I could definitely show you ways to do it. This is really to whet your appetite, guys. You really need to go out and get this stuff. It's currently free, and by definition, you're getting a bargain. That's all I could say is by definition, they're all battling for you right now. Incidentally, Claude, one of my favorite AIs, you've heard me talk about that quite a bit. They don't have an agentic browser, but they do have a an extension for Chrome. So they do, and they will function similarly on Chrome. Again, I deliberately left it off here. There's been all kinds of little problems with it, which I suspect they're going to have fixed. And when they do, we'll bring that to you. But, so now we've got the three major companies here battling for the browser. When you see people suddenly get into this, the browser world has been silent for years. You haven't heard anything about it. You really haven't. You just go to your browser, you don't even think twice. Now these people are battling for your attention because it's everything. It really truly is. Who else? Anyone?
Hey, Ed, what technology are you using for the text from your PC?
I've got a Mac, and when you say what technology do I use, it's my Mac has the messages.
Built in
It's
because you
built
use an iPhone. Yeah.
It's built in, and I've got my Mac messaging, and I've got WhatsApp messaging on here. So why do you ask? You're muted.
Yeah, I'm trying to unmute. I'm on my phone. Um, I, because I don't have it on my PC, but I'm using Windows. So I know the Mac has it built in functionality. So the Mac works just like your phone. So I'll have to investigate it further. Maybe I'll ask AI.
Okay. Yeah, definitely. I again, you need to decide what your comfort level is with anything here. I put a lot out there that a lot of you don't. And that's fine. But when you decide what you're comfortable with and how you're going to do it, I just want you to start to think this way. Resources, there's lots of YouTube videos that are out there. There's certainly the workbook that we have for this meeting. And, I hope that you utilize it. And that said, I want to get to wants, needs, and brags. Wants, needs, and brags. Right now is the time of the meeting where you're going to talk about something that you want, something that you need, and something that you want to brag about. Anybody want to give it a start? I could tell you, oh, Dina. Dina's got something she wants to brag about. She's all excited here. I love when Dina gets excited.
It's a brag for both of us. Edmund and I have a listing that I would love to tell everybody about. It's a little bit of a brag because it's a great listing. It's a gorgeous condo in downtown East Boca, asking 2.795 million in a very, very prestigious building. It's a two-bedroom plus den, totally gut renovated down to the studs, beautiful. And I really see it as a place. I mean, absolutely somebody could live there full time for sure. But I think that for our California people, for, people from different parts of the country who might want a second home and have a wealthy client who wants something prestigious in a fabulous location in Boca, it's a great opportunity. So you can reach out to me or Edmund. And if you have somebody who you think might be interested.
Love it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Who else? Somebody have a brag? It's a great opportunity to give yourself a plug, guys. Come on. You could just shout out. It doesn't matter where it is. Tough crowd here. Okay, I've got a brag. I ran into a very wealthy neighbor here in Vegas just by chance. He was at the tables. And I said, I said, how you doing? He said, when are you leaving? I said, I'm going back on Wednesday. He said, oh, great. I'll give you a ride. He has a plane. I'm like, okay, so I guess I'll fly private home. That's kind of cool.
Cool.
So I canceled my JetBlue flight and I'm supposed to meet at the Signature Air Terminal for private flight at 11:30 today, 11:30 California time. So that's kind of woo, you know?
I'll withhold my comments on the statistics about private jets
Yeah,
versus.
you know what, Greg? Fuck you again, Greg. God, Greg. You see why everyone hates you? Oh God,
Can
Greg,
we
it's
take an insurance
enough.
policy out on Edmund? No.
Okay, whatever. Dina, go ahead.
I
I'm
I
glad you
also,
saw your
Edmund, you are
children,
leaving
Edmund.
out. You are leaving out from our realtor's point of view the most important part of that story,
Oh
which
yes,
is that all those other.
yes.
Please tell that part.
He's flying back with two other couples from the community, and he himself has said to me multiple times that he'd love to be able to, he's wealthy and he's older and he's bored and he wants to buy investment property. So I've got a pretty captive audience on the flight back. Silly me, I said to him, can I pick up lunch for all of us? And he's like, oh no, conversely, they sent me a menu. And so, that was, I guess that's how we're doing it. So it's kind of an interesting experience. Again, I've not really done this type of thing before. I've been on private aircraft, but not anything like that. So it's kind of cool. Um, Okay, who else? Now you've seen it's not that hard. I mean, part of this is not being shy here. So Dossie, go ahead. Dossie, where
I,
are you?
I'm in Denver, or I'm in Castle Rock, Colorado, a suburb of Denver, Colorado.
Cool.
And I just wanted to also mention a really great listing that I have. I'm actually doing a broker open on it today.
Maybe I could
But
stop by with a plane.
yeah, you could.
Fly
You
right in.
definitely could. Maybe not quite enough land, but there's airports not too far. But it is right in the middle of Castle Rock, with great views of Pikes Peak and the Castle Rock, which is famous for downtown in our city. But yeah, so I have that one listed at 1.75. It's a huge, 5,208 square foot walkout ranch with a multi-gen. So if anybody knows anybody looking to relocate to Colorado, it's a beautiful home in prestigious Castle Rock.
Very cool. Very, very cool. Okay. So, one of the things that you could do is send us if you put it up in the chat, we could put that out on the on the Facebook page for the group.
Okay.
All of you, you should be giving us this stuff so we could get this out to,
Any of our listings and
yeah.
share them with everybody. Yeah. I
Yeah,
love that.
share them with the group here. Livette has been great about asking for some very obscure locations, as I recall. But she's got leads, and people need to. I mean, if we could be interdependent on one another, I think that's fabulous. I think that's really really great stuff. I'm looking right now for next week's topic. We're going to have another meeting on Wednesday and Friday of next week, and I'm just not seeing it right here. But I knew it was going to be a good one, which I'm trying to find. Anyone else have anything while I'm looking here that they want to bring up?
So I will be attending next week, Friday, from 95 South towards you.
Oh, where's that? Well, what do you mean attending?
I will be on your conference call
Oh,
while driving on the wonderful Interstate 95
you
between
rock.
here and there. Yeah.
I love it.
I have a brag.
Okay, who's that?
It's Kenny.
Kenny, go ahead.
Edmund treated a few of us to lunch the other day in LA, so, so I got to see some people's face to face. So Andrew was out here. So
And it's always great to see you.
who else was
And
with us there?
eventually I'll buy all of you lunch.
Oh,
So
and I put that up there for you because that's me in a stunt plane doing a heart.
okay.
I'm not flying it. I was a PR guy for a big company, and they love those planes for Baal Shalom. So, but anyway,
Wow. Okay.
so you're safe. You're safe in the plane if I could do that.
I hope so. Yeah, but Greg is busy telling me about all these horrible things. We will be doing some other stuff again about AI video. I know I did something in the last 6 months, I think, about it. But I know if you guys can give me some feedback as to the kinds of topics that you want me to bring up, I definitely want to give you the kind of content, and we do need to take time to research it and put it together. But Livette, please tell everyone who you are and where you are.
Hi, I'm Lavette Bell in Norfolk, Virginia. That's the Southampton Roads area. So I have a need. I kind of been playing around with the idea of kind of relocating out of the country.
Really?
Thailand, Panama are on my list. So I just wanted to know if anyone in the tribe here was in any of those locations, and maybe we could link up. I'm going to be flying out to Panama
I
sometime,
can
maybe
tell you
November.
everything about Thailand.
Thailand. Okay, all right. Well, I'll
Spent
reach
three
out.
months there.
Okay, awesome.
Okay, so hook up with Renat when you have each other's contact. Why don't you DM each other through this right now, just before the meeting ends, so you
Okay, let
can do
me.
that. Did you rob a bank or something? Why are you running off to Thailand? It's
I feel like I heard something the other day. It says, you're not depressed, you just live in the US. And I just really just feel like everything is just struggle and survival here. And it's just the cost of everything. And you're one medical emergency from being bankrupt or, foreclosure. So I'm just tired. Maybe I'll start off with dual citizenship and go back and forth, but eventually I just want to just go.
okay. Well,
I totally agree with you.
Mhm.
yeah. Listen, there is an arbitrage going on where people will say, "I'll move to another locale." If you can make if you can make American money living in Thailand, by definition, again, you're living very, very well. And I just
Right.
found it here. I want to tell everyone this. Um, how to get insane focus that feels illegal. I'm going to change the name of the topic, but here we've actually put this together where we're coming up with various focus techniques. I find myself a bit scatterbrained. Again, it's taking a little bit of a departure from the AI stuff next week, but I do think that it's extremely important. So that's going to be next Wednesday, getting insane focused. Again, we are trying to come up with stuff that all of you could use. I'm grateful that all of you came. And Terry, are you ready? I hope that we have you here.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, when Terry says, "Oh yeah," it makes me look at all of you and say, "It sure is good to see you. It really was great having you, and I look forward to seeing everybody next Wednesday morning at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for another exciting episode of
Rain Nation.
Loving that. Every now and then, Terry lets the animal out of the cage and it works. Guys, good to see
Rawr.
everyone. New people, thank you for coming. I'd love to have you back. And I hope to see all of you again soon.
Thank
Have a
you so
safe
much.
Have a
flight
great
home.
day.
Thanks.
Bye.
Take care, everybody.